Hello folks, welcome along to the channel. This is the ABC Journeyman. I'm the Custard Prophet and this is club number 6 and we're starting our second season with AFC Wimbledon. We've had a really surprising first season where we managed to survive against all the odds. We were predicted to go down and it was such a challenge to actually get to keep our head above water in that season. We had to really work hard. This season we have made some transfers and I'm hoping, I think one of the suggestions is that we might be nailed on for mid-table. I'm not sure about that, but we're certainly going to hopefully give a better account of ourselves, and I think we've got the players to do that. I think there are still a few holes in the team, but we are trying to actively fill those holes, although we don't have a huge amount of money to do that. Yeah, folks, so we start off our campaign here against Luton. We've drawn Crawley in the Cup, so Luton are predicted to finish around 9th in the table. We are predicted to finish all the way bottom, but it's a lot better than it was. So we're just 500 to 1, whereas I think we were about 1,000 to 1 I think odds to win the league, so we are most likely to go down. But we're kind of close to Crawley, not that far away from Wrexham and the likes of Southend and Preston. And these are the teams that we're going to be wanting to try and beat. Luton is going to be a tough one. We'll see how that goes. And you know, there's some scary amounts of money being battered around the championship, but you know, we're having to deal with relatively small amounts in comparison. So in terms of the players who have left the club, you can see these players who were released. David Setters, James DeBio, Morty Bodkin, the reserve goalkeeper, and Robert Terence. I can't even remember who that is. Oh yeah, he was in the reserves. So we've got rid of a bunch of the players I wanted to. We also managed to sell another player. We can see Ben Davis didn't work out for him, and he's actually gone back to Thailand. So we made a bit of money on him because we got him from this team on a free. We've sent him back for about 30 grand, so that's good. And we're currently in the process of selling our right back Jones, who I didn't really. He looks good, but I've not really been able to get him playing for us. So he's currently looking to engineer a move to Crawley, and they've accepted about £600,000. We've accepted a £600,000 bid for him. So if he can agree terms with Crawley, then we can use that cash maybe elsewhere in the team. Players in though, and you can see there is a nice big chunk of players who've come in. So that's two obvious big ones that you'll be able to see is that we have managed to pick up two of the players we had on loan and secured them a permanent contract. So Panagiotis Athanasopoulos from Fulham, our right midfielder extraordinaire, he has got himself a move. £1.2 million we paid for him. Maybe we're overpaying, but he is a very good right midfielder. He got 9 assists last season and we've started off very well in pre-season, as you can see. Such a good player physically, but he's got that crossing and dribbling could and should be a bit better, and we've certainly seen evidence of him, you know, failing to take the ball with him, but happy to have him on board. I think he will be a real asset to us at just 22 years old. Alongside him, Julio Morales, we picked him up on a free. Very happy with this. I think the one thing with him, he's not particularly fast, but he sits in that midfield. He does a lot of good things, and he had a great season last year on loan. I was worried we wouldn't get a work permit, but actually the work permit came through, so we have him. I think he was signed from Bristol City. So, but we have picked up some additional players beyond that. The only other fee that we've spent was for Josh Griffiths from Chesterfield, £110,000. So this is a backup goalkeeper. So he's infinitely better than Bodkin, and I would hopefully. He agreed to be a cup goalkeeper. He wanted to be first team. He agreed to be a cup goalkeeper, and I think he looks good. I think he's yes, his physicals and everything's declining because he is getting a little bit older, but goalkeepers can go a bit longer. So the hope is that he will be able to be a decent backup for what we have, and we will play him in the cup because I want to see what he does. So one of the big places that we didn't have anyone, we were having a lot of issues, the likes of Kemp, who we haven't got rid of, was up top, because we were playing Seth out left and Owusu was going up top. He kind of tailed off a bit last season. So we didn't actually go back for Owusu. Instead, we've gone for this player from Tottenham, which is a little bit of a risk. Edon Delo, who is a youngster. He's a 3-star player worth up to £9.2 million. I'm hoping that given a run of games, he can develop. He's got, I think, a lot of the things that he needs to be a good striker. I think just game time is what's lacking. And we will see. This might be a big mistake, but we're going to give the youngster a go. In midfield, we have strengthened a little bit. Moses Abdelaziz from Plateau United. It's a Nigerian player. I think he's going to add a little bit to that. He can play either on the left side, which is helpful. He can play up top. He can play in that advanced midfield. Right? He's not really a ball-winning midfielder, but he's a very capable person on the ball. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's a decent signing, and we haven't really spent any money on that. The other player here is an interesting one, Eden Malabron from Leicester. I really like the looks of him. He can play in that advanced attacking midfield role. He also thinks he can play as a libero, which is I've never done that. Anyone played as a libero? Not themselves, but use that role? I've never done that. I don't know if I trust him at the back, looking at his marking, tackling and heading. He's a miniature little lad at just 174 centimetres, but other than that, physically he's okay. Mentally pretty strong. He's not a leader, that's for sure, but some real strengths in his technicals as well. I like him. There's definitely holes, but I like what he brings to the side. I think that role suits him a lot better than libero, but libero is what he wanted to play, bizarrely. At the back, we have strengthened as well. We've got the likes of Dominic Hill, who comes in. I mean, it's an interesting one. He's only got a heading of 7, but he is 197 centimetres. He's like the size of a door, jumping reach of 15. So whilst he's not going to be able to head it in the right direction, he'll get his head to it. And that's almost part of what you need as a defender, just at least getting your head to it, not losing out on the headers. Doesn't really matter huge amount where it goes in the first instance. We just need to get players around him. So happy enough with that. I think he can play all across the back line, but probably most likely as a centre back. And the other two we've brought in, Eddie Egan, who can play on the left side and at centre back. Again, looks a decent player. His heading is not so strong, so as a result of that, he's probably going to be on the left side. Makes sense with his physicals. Quite a fast player, good balance. He's got good balance, but he can't dribble. But we'll see. I think he'll be a decent fullback option that can exchange with Chambers, hopefully. And Pierre Pastor is a player I had on my radar for some time. We managed to get him on a free transfer. I think this is a huge signing for us, worth up to £6.2 million. But just a very, very solid centre-back who can also play on the right side as well. And I think he's entirely capable of that. More of a defensive right-sided player. But look at the height of the bloke. Again, 900 centimetres high. No, 195 centimetres. I think that's pretty good as well. So looking forward to seeing what he can do as well. In pre-season, it's gone pretty well. I mean, some really strong results here. Going away to Watford and getting a win there. Away to Portugal and getting a draw out there. And I don't even know where that is. Alhanse in Portugal. So a couple of games in Portugal. Is that another Portuguese side? That makes sense because we had a trip away to Portugal, but we got some good victories away against Portugal, and then home against Stuttgart, very strong side. We actually did all right there, so everything says we are a better, more solid side than we were before. Look, we're not conceding the goals, but we are actually scoring some. So this is where it all goes wrong. I'm convinced that this is a better side. I want to hear what you think about this. I'm quite excited. Let's go and play our first game. Okay, side that is going to be out first. Dello making his debut up top. Malibran is playing alongside Morales as the attacking midfielders, which is interesting. Seth, Malt and Athanopoulos in the sort of more drop back midfielders, and then Chambers, Chilcott, Pasta and Multi across the back line. Odam starts in goal. We'll see if he continues in goal. Excited to see how this goes. I'm really excited to see this youngster, see if he can actually develop. That's an interesting one. The one area I think we are a little weak is actually here in the ball-winning midfielder role. We don't have that many players who can take on this role. Simons is out suspended, and we don't have anyone other than maybe Lyons who can fill in that, and he's probably on his way out. So we need another ball-winning midfielder, ideally a first-choice ball-winning midfielder. So when Jones goes, if he does, then we'll probably use those resources to fill in that spot. But I've been looking all summer. I've not really seen anything that I like the looks of. Okay, here we go. We've also had a little bit of a change in our staff. Nicky Weaver, our goalkeeping coach, left. And so we've replaced him, and we've also added to the scouts as well. Right, here we go. Well, it's been a solid opening, or solid enough opening. Horny just goes high there. Imagine being called that. But, I mean, nothing really to write home about. But what we've done there is we've stopped them creating chances. We've had a little bit more possession than them. We need to be able to create a little bit more, but that's fine. That can come. But it's the stopping them having chances is the bit I like, because we were giving away a few too many of those last season. Let's see what the second half looks like. We'll carry on, maybe change things up a little bit in at the other end of the pitch, and see if we can get a little bit more out of that as the second half progresses. Let's see what happens. Right, couple of changes at this point. The two of the new guys, Malibran and Athanopoulos, going off. Not really done much themselves. Athanopoulos, so hard to say that. He's got himself a little bit of an injury, so we'll take him off. Walcott coming on the right side, Da Silva coming on in the centre. We know both of those are very capable. Seth's having a go, and we've managed to pull the ball out. Is there a chance here? Multi, first opportunity we've seen maybe. And here's Walcott. Not quite. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. They've gone along with the ball, but Pasta with his giantness. Morales, not great there. And Magnon, their striker, he's away. Oh, we've not given a bloody penalty away. We started the second half. We've started really well, but they've got a penalty. I'm not sure about that. Magnon. Oh, it's just straight past the goalkeeper. That's not great. That's not great. I think we'll go positive. We'll see if we can create a little bit more. But we've certainly had more possession in the second half. Right. 3 changes. We're changing a few people at the back, just trying to freshen things up. Hill and Egan coming on. And we've also brought Kemp on for a tiring Dello. Not the most auspicious start from the youngster. Well, in the end, there was very, very little between the teams. The difference was the penalty, and it was a penalty that should never have happened. I mean, it was right in the corner of the box. And, there was no need to make the challenge there, but we did. And so we lose against Luton, who are one of the better sides in this league. We created some chances against them. We limited their chances beyond that penalty. There was very little really good opportunities in the game. Maybe one each other than the penalty. And it didn't really show the best of us. So I don't know what that means. I don't think it was a terrible performance. It's just I feel attacking wise we need a little bit more than what we showed. I think is all this is saying. And we need to find a better way to maybe use our more creative players. But we'll see. Player of the match from us was Malt in the centre, almost a 7. But the rest, it was not a bad performance, just not a very good performance either. I'm not sure what to make of it all really. It's not too bad. The injury to our right-sided player is not too bad either. yeah, it's a lot of changes. Let's not read too much into that. Looks like Sunderland have taken an early lead in the division. Very impressive, beating Peterborough 4-1. Derby bottom of the table. Wow, interesting. Not everyone's going to be happy that watching this, but there we go. Anyway, folks, I'm not too worried about that. We will go ahead a little bit, and we'll probably come back for, I don't know, maybe one of these away games. Maybe Bournemouth. We've not seen Bournemouth yet, so see how we are doing up to that point. Looks like we've got some relatively tough games coming up. Maybe Huddersfield is one that we might be expected to get something out of. But yeah, I think it's the likes of Southend, Crawley, Wrexham, this period here where we need to be collecting the points. But hopefully we can get a few in this middle bit as well. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are on the squad changes, and we'll see. We'll see if we can get this team scoring goals. Is the striker good enough? I'm not sure on that. He didn't really do much today, but he's young, he's anxious, so maybe he needs a little bit of time up there to just warm up. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.